Welcome back, Rum fans. Today's video, we are talking about Diplomatico Seleccion de Familia. Not that Diplo, although that Diplo is here for reference. And we're talking about this Diplo, Seleccion de Familia. Now look, you probably cottoned on, a lot of you can like judge and all this. I'm filming this in the same session that I've just done Eldorado 12-year-old, Black Top, the Panama Abuelo 7, and now we're doing this. Hence why that's still out there. There's some rum samples here that I've left. Now, if you've watched last week's Panama 7, Abuelo 7-year-old, this already is head and shoulders above the Abuelo, but I want to make a distinction here. This is £50. Abuelo 7 is £28.50, so not quite double the price, but this is quite expensive. But this has, before we get into the technical data, this has a lot less sweetness, but with a bit of sweetness, but more character, and my eyes lit up when I just tasted it for the first time in flipping ages. So that's got the introduction out the way. I'm going to give a shout out to my other channels while I'm here as well. If you don't realise, I'm sure most of you do. I'm sure I've kind of separated off my channels for a reason. But I've got Steve the Barman, the main channel, Steve the Barman UK. Because actually I can't have Steve the Barman because one of the other channels is Steve the Barman. But Steve the Barman UK is the main channel. Education, that's where I'm trying to go with that. The hook, if you like, the funnel, where we talk about rum and cokes and all that sort of stuff, you know, rum education. I've got Steve the Barman Extra, the home of the live streams and spiced rum and cocktails, and I've got Steve the Barman Rum Reviews, where I kind of just like sitting down, talking at a different angle, down the camera, and giving my thoughts on rum. I did try and do 8-minute videos, that didn't work, so we're up to whatever 15-20-minute videos, but you love a good ramble. So let's get into, I had a bit of fascination with this. Let's get into Diplomatico. Diplo, for me, because I'm chaving, I Cornish chav, so Diplo, anything, every time I say Diplo, it's always Diplo as the brand. Don't naturally assume Diplo as that, is Diplo as a brand. They've got other rums. I might just get this down as well while I'm here, because we've got this one as well. So, Diplo as the brand, I've got this written down. Potentially, in this rum, no added sugar. Potentially. I've seen this, 4 or 5 people now have put 0 grams of sugar on this. Is that going to be harsh? I think there might be the odd few grams of sugar added. But for love nor money, that is not even remotely close to being on the same sugar levels. We know roughly that they don't admit it, and we don't know, but we know roughly it's 35, 38, 40 grams of sugar, give or take. It could be 30. We don't know, but we know it's got a lot of sugar added to. We just wish more brands to breed like Plantation. Team Plantation, that's where I am. Team Plantation, Team Maison France. Be open and honest. Just put it on the back of the bottles. No one really cares when you put it on the back of the bottles. Just be open and honest about it. I don't think... Is it unsweetened? I don't think it's unsweetened. But it's sure is... I was going to swear then. I don't swear on this channel. I swear like a trooper in real life, but I don't swear. It sure is sugar. A lot less sweet than what they are, and a lot less sweet than the Abuelo 7. So let me get into the thing. Now I just came to that because that was how it was written on there. So pot and column still, Diplomatico. They grow their own sugar cane again, which again, you know, we have to look at this and think, wow, props, because do you know what? There ain't many rum brands, big rum brands, fanboy rum brands, and I'm not going to mention names, but there ain't many rum brands that actually can claim to grow their own sugar cane, then mill it and create their own molasses. You know, some of the big, famous distilleries import molasses. They can't claim to. So when certain distilleries have a go at UK stuff, you know, they're no better because they're importing their own molasses, same as we do. We can't grow sugarcane in the UK. They can in the flipping Caribbean, but some people choose to import it. rightly or wrongly. That's another debate. I like stirring. Doesn't make doesn't. There's some people that know exactly where we're going with that. There's others that think you can't calm me down. But anyway, so the grow your own sugarcane. They're at the foot of the Andes, the mountain range in Venezuela. It's a Venezuelan rum, so the foot of the Andes. And you can kind of get the same vibes as what you would naturally assume with El Dorado, DDL, Demerara Distillers Limited in Guyana. Because the rich, fertile soils on the banks of the River Demerara in Guyana are going to be exactly the same within reason. The foot of the sort of mountains, all the water, all the moisture is coming down the mountains. So where the sugar cane is grown, it's going to be those sort of rich, fertile soils that gives you really vibrant sort of sugar cane, really juicy sugar cane. That would be my interpretation of it. So instantly, when I read that, and I kind of, it's kind of something we forget because we just naturally assume Diplomatico and we write the brand off for that. But we shouldn't, because I flipping love that. And revisiting this after, not months of forgetting about it, I flipping well like this as well. So, the story so far, don't write up Diplo because of that. We've got there. So they grow their own sugarcane mill, harvest and all that. They've got what they call is 3 different distillation processes, which combine to the rest of the likes of me and you. Basically, they've got 3 different stills that they kind of have permanently on the go, which will create 3 different rums, and then they're aged, blended, etc, etc, etc. Okay, so what we've got going on, we've got a column still, which in their words creates a light and fruity kind of rum. We've got the kettle still, which produces a complex yet tropical and caramel vibes to a rum. And then we've got the copper pot still, which produces those rich, deep, heavy styles of rum. So that's Diplo in a nutshell. They've got those 3 stills producing 3 different types of rum, which are then blended together to make their range. Now, as neat sipping goes, I flipping love that. That is absolutely delicious. The Diplo Reserve Planas, sorry, that's called. I think the Planas is neat sipper to the cows come. Do not get it into your head so you cannot sip white unaged rum neat, because you flipping can. If that's sweetened, it's minimal. It's just gorgeous stuff. It's absolute gorgeous stuff. I really do like it. Really do like that. It's a shame, and you can understand it, but it is a shame that is their flagship product, because you can understand it because it's heavily sweetened, but that for me is the worst product that they actually do. And we have this chat a lot about likes of Bacardi. Bacardi, their white superior, is their flagship product. It's the product they sell most of. It gives Bacardi, to rum people, a bad name. And yet I flipping love the 8-year-old and the 10-year-old and actually the 4-year-old, the Quattro. I do love Bacardi Rum. I just don't like the original. The same as that. I've got absolutely zero time for that. And that's not rum snob in me talking. I've just got zero time for it. There's far more character in these rums, the Diplo Planas and the Diplo Familia Reserva, than there ever will be in that Reserva Exclusiva. So we're here to talk about the Familia. So what do we get in the nose? It's really bizarre. There's a really fruity, red fruity, raspberry kind of vibe on there. Look, the alcohol's slightly high, 43, but when you nose it against, the Familia, the Reserva, it's like a whole, it could be 15% ABV stronger because there's so much sugar added to that. But it's this sweet red fruit vibe going on. Yes, there's undoubtedly vanilla. There's wood notes going on. I mean, vanilla punches through, but it's that first note of those red fruits. I'm going raspberry. It could be strawberry, but I'm going raspberry now. The vanilla, the wood barrels in there, the aging that's going on. I do almost kind of get this sort of marzipan-y vibes off that, but also almond essentially on there. But it is in that sense, for me, a little bit one-dimensional. There's not a whole, compared to black top, there's not a whole lot going on. It's like red fruit for me, I get that. Tropical fruit, maybe, some people. Dry fruits, yes, but vanilla, wood barrel aging, and that's pretty much it. Maybe caramel, you could probably do that, but you know, vanilla for me overpowers that. But on the tasting, I've got to have a little top up. I really, really like that, and it's £50. Oh, it's £50, and yes, tasting it in the same few hours that I've held Eldorado 15-year-old, yes, I now appreciate, yes, there is a little bit of sugar added to that, because that is not as bone dry as the Eldorado 15-year-old at the same price point. We don't know what the age of that is, because it's kind of like a blend of different rums that's gone into there, and I don't think. No, there's absolutely no sort of, it's rums up. If I remember rightly, I don't think it says anywhere, but if I remember rightly, it's rums up to 12-year-old. So effectively, you could have an unaged rum in there, but it's rums up to 12-year-old. But I know we're getting at £50, but I really, really enjoy that. I'm quite happy sipping that neat, to the point where I think this is probably, potentially, one of the most underrated rums that I have behind the bar. It's underrated. It's not really talked about, because for the channel, it's at the most expensive it can be, £50. I try and focus on rums under £50. But do I like this more than Eldorado 12-year-old? Yes. Brutally honest, yes. Do I prefer it to Eldorado 15-year-old? Depends what mood I'm in, because yes, this is sweeter. It's not giving me fairy teeth. It's not giving me sweetness vibes. You know, it's not putting me off. Or I could potentially have a few glasses of that. Whereas I couldn't of the Abuelo 7, if you like. The fruity notes of that, wow. You know, as it finishes, honey. I'm getting almond. I'm getting plenty of vanilla. There's almost this caramelized. Do you know what it is? Do you know what, if you stuck pineapple rings on a barbecue, it's that. I'm kind of getting that sort of caramelized, sort of pineapple-y, barbecue-y kind of thing going on. There's not much else going on for me in there. But don't take that as a sign it's not complex, because this has got to be low dosed. It's dosed. It has to be dosed. It has to have added sugar, but I'm saying it's low dosed because I flipping love this. So I've just flicked onto Rumex to get some other tasting notes, just to see where I'm at with it. So we've now got vanilla, agree. Sweet. From a rum geek point of view, yes. From the average rum point of view, not so much. Caramelised, yes. I think that's like caramelised. I do think that's like caramelised pineapple on there. Woody, yeah. Raisin, yeah, marginally. Spicy, no. I totally get what they mean by that. It's purely because if they've had that and tasting that after it, they'll be like, whoa, it's a culture shock, because they are completely different. So I'm totally going where that is, because I'm guessing people are so used to having that is a massive culture shock to them. Is it spicy? No. I don't think it's even as hardcore as Havana 7-year-old in that, and I don't enjoy Havana 7. I really, really like this. What else? Cocoa? Yeah, maybe. Candied? Honey, agree with the honey. Definitely agree with the honey. The honey vibes are there. Earthy, coffee, plum, toasted caramel. Earthy, plum, maybe. Toasted, plum caramel. Peppery, banana, bourbon, brown, blackberry. Blackberry is kind of an interesting one. Remember, I did say sort of, no one's put raspberry. Absolutely no. I'm just looking at the nosing. Actually, quite a lot of. Oh, I've just spotted this. Quite a lot of people have put red fruits, but no one's put red fruits on the taste, which is kind of fascinating for me. And this is Rumex, by the way. Look, do you know what? £50. it is the top end of where I want to go for this channel. I know I do flirt with rums that are a lot more expensive, but genuinely, I have no idea why this has sat on my back bar for that amount of time, and I've not really paid much attention to it. Have I been influenced by other people? Maybe. Is it a rum that I think a lot of people really enjoy? In my Discord, in my membership community? Yeah, massively. Absolutely massively. There's a few people that won't. I get it. I understand that. I love it. I genuinely absolutely love it, and I, for the life of me, do not understand why I've not really paid much attention to it. It can only be because of that. Forget about that. Absolutely forget about that. Concentrate that in its own right. That is a great rum.